listening to us right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Namaste to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Lall Show. As you know, we come here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as we continue to educate you and as we fight for a better Guyana. This evening, Mr. Lall will make his presentation, and the usual, once time permits us, we take your calls and read your messages. Mr. Lall, over to you.
Namaste to you, Josh. Namaste to all you guys. It's Wednesday, guys.
It is.
It's Wednesday. And Josh, you forget to tell the people that they're listening to 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM here in Guyana.
Yes.
The Lall Show is every Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday at 7:20 p.m. You can tune in also if you missed it every day at 11 a.m. for a rebroadcast. Yes, and on Sundays, all three of the programs are re-aired at 11, 4, and 7 p.m. So you guys can stay abreast and catch it whenever you missed it. Like I said, Namaste. A peaceful word. A word full of joy and divinity. I visited a buddy pal this morning who fighting for his life due to COVID. We have known each other many, many years. We go back to the Stabrook Market days. As I looked at him, I could have only said, we are all in the hands of our Creator, and He knows best. This COVID thing, uncle and auntie, is extremely serious. And I urge all of you to be extra careful and stay safe. Yes. If you haven't gotten the vaccine, get out there and get it. You don't have to pay for it. Our leaders already buy it at a higher price than it cost with your own money. So get out there and get it. All right, Josh?
Yes.
You get it?
Yes, I have.
Got you. Uncle, I called a man this afternoon and asked to speak to his boss. The man said, Lall. Is this Lall? I said, yes, Lall. So I asked him if he stored my number. He said, no, sir, you're calling me on a landline. I know your voice. I know your voice, Mr. Lall. I have been listening to all your programs. And without you, Guyana would have never known anything what's going on with their resources. I just want to say thanks to that young man. Now, young man, there are 4 very important words in life: love, honesty, truth, and respect. Without these in your life, you have nothing. No money, no wealth, no throne can give you a life like those 4 words. Today, I had another court case. This time is about a letter we published in the Kaieteur News some time back. That letter was written by a man named Kaieteur. He wrote that letter and mentioned some things about ex-President David Granger. And Mr. Granger sued Kaieteur and all the newspapers that published the letter. Roysdale Ford, who is representing Mr. Granger, applied for a default judgment against we at the Kaieteur News because we did not file our defense in time. I told my lawyer, Miss Chanella Glenn, this morning before the case started, what defense can a newspaper put up when the letter was published? And I told her, all the judges in this world knows what the media is all about. Once there is no malice or ill will on our part, and you print it, and it defames a person, then I believe the judge has to make his or her decision, how they feel, how they see with it. And we, at this newspaper, will have to abide with it. So when the matter was heard this morning, the judge granted Roysdale Ford $150,000 as cost for not filing a defense in time. After I spoke with my lawyer, the judge reversed the $150,000 so that matter will go to trial, and at the end of the trial, the judge will decide how much, if any at all, we have to pay Mr. Granger for publishing Kit Nascimento's letter. I must let you know, I asked Kit Nascimento to have his lawyer defend this newspaper at the same time they're defending him, seeing that he was the one that wrote the letter. And I don't want to tell you what he said, but I could tell you this is the same Guyana we live in. Let's move on.
Tell us what he said.
No, I will not. Let's move on. Let's get to tonight's real issue. Uncle, our leaders on ExxonMobil are too busy gangstering all of you. You hear what I said there, Tony?
Yes.
Our leaders on ExxonMobil are too busy gangstering all of you people.
Yes.
That I don't even remember the amount of court cases I have. I am too busy trying to educate you people with the help of the boss man above as to what they're doing to us with our wealth. That is why I tell my lawyer to put up no defense, to let the judges decide my fate. Man, Tony, you're laughing at me.
Yes.
And that shouldn't be. Don't laugh at me. It is just that I have so much on my head.
Yeah.
I don't even remember court cases.
Yeah.
But I don't forget the money I have to pay them.
Of course not.
Let me repeat again. Our leaders are allowing ExxonMobil to gangster our children and our future with no shame whatsoever on their faces.
Yes. True.
Where is Guyana's production report, Uncle? Mr. Ali, Mr. Jagdeo, and Mr. Harmon. Where is that report? 3 years now, we are pumping oil, and we still waiting to see the production reports? Why? Why the people of this country should not see how much of our own oil Exxon pumping up? Can anybody answer that question, man?
No.
Why we can't see the price it was sold for, the amount of spending, and how they're taking out that 75% cap cost recovery? Why? Why we the citizens who own these wealth can't have a say, can't have a peek into our own businesses? Can Mr. Ali, Mr. Harmon, and Mr. Jagdeo answer these questions? Did you guys tell the people in Ghana and the people in Dubai what is going on in this country with our oil? Ta-da! I like that word. Uncle, the leaders sell out Guyana's oil in the Stabroek block with all of us inside to ExxonMobil. In July this year, the 30th of July to be exact, ExxonMobil announced that their total revenues and income was 67.7 billion American dollars. Where did it come from? And what is Guyana's share to that?
Repeat that.
Let me repeat it for thank you. Their annual report, as of the 30th of July, they announced in revenue and earnings 67.7 billion American dollars. Where did it come from? And what Guyana got? What we got so far? Nothing.
Very sad.
Yeah. 67.7 billion is their earnings. I just asking where it come from. How much come from Guyana out of that? All? What Guyana get? 300 and something million couscous dollar. If you don't need a protest in this land to upturn this country around, I better start sleeping upside it down, because there will be no bed with what these people doing to y'all and y'all wealth. 2 weeks, uncle, 2 weeks after the senseless killing of a man named George Floyd in the United States by a police officer last year, it sparked a countrywide protest with a slogan called Black Lives Matter. That protest ante rolled through more than 550 towns and cities across the United States of America. It went worldwide around many towns and cities too. During that protest ante, the protesters called on the corporate and business community to support their fight against injustice, discrimination, and racism. When the businesses heard that they will be boycotted for not supporting the cause, they readily jumped on board and put out a huge statement. They even pledged millions of US dollars to support the cause. What was the cause? Injustice, discrimination, and racism. It's not every day that you see companies switch gears where their pockets can be affected. Most major companies, including Apple, Amazon, Facebook, American and Delta Airlines, among a set of other big companies, have all endorsed the movement to fight racism and vowed to do more to end discrimination and injustice in every sector.
Amen.
The executive chairman of the QI group publicly promised to make his organizations more diverse by improving anti-discriminatory hiring practices, pay equal salaries, and equitable access to advancement for people of color. Yes, black, brown, and yellow people.
Yes.
This company, uncle, that I talked about, has businesses in over 30 countries. That chairman said businesses have power to transform, change, and contribute to a more open, diverse, and inclusive society.
Yes.
He said, we as business people can only accomplish this by starting from within our organizations.
Yes.
As that protest began to grow, Uncle, Amazon announced 10 million donation to the organization supporting the fight against systematic racism and injustice. The figure grew to 1.7 billion American dollars to fight against injustice, racism, and discrimination. Auntie and uncle, brothers and sisters of this land, I choose to bring that story to your attention because racism, discrimination, and injustice is right in our backyards, and we are turning a blind eye to it, playing sick and dead, and none of our leaders is trying to correct or bring this to an end.
That's right.
And I am not talking about racism, one race against each other. I am not talking about discrimination, who is hiring who and who getting what jobs. I am not talking, uncle, about excuse me, the injustices that prevail in our society among ourselves. No, no. I am talking about racism, discrimination, and injustice against the people of this country by ExxonMobil.
Yes, yes. Say it again. Say it again.
I am talking about racism, discrimination, and injustice against the people of this country by ExxonMobil
Yes.
as the discriminator through its blatant racism against peoples of this country
Yes.
who are all colored,
Yes.
black, brown, and yellow people.
Yes.
Yes. This blatant racism, discrimination, and injustice, auntie, can be seen in a contract that degrades us
Yes.
and put us down
Yes.
as if we, the brown, black, and yellow people of this country, has no value.
That's right.
We don't understand what money is. We don't know what life is with money.
Yes.
Only them know. And only them can spend money.
Yes.
And when called upon to review and renegotiate the financially enslaving terms
Yes.
of this contract, ExxonMobil shelters under the sanctity of contract.
Yes. Yes.
I talked a lot about that word sanctity.
Yes.
No moron should ever use that word.
Yes.
But you have our leaders supporting
Yes.
ExxonMobil just not to change that no good. I can't find words to describe that contract they signed with Guyana. Auntie and uncle, fellow citizens of this country, you tell me if this is not discrimination, racism, and injustice. Abu Dhabi was given 12.5% to 20% royalty.
Wow. True.
Algeria, 12.5% to 20%.
Wow. True.
Argentina, 12%.
Wow.
Bolivia, 11 to 19%.
Wow.
Brunei, 12.5%.
Wow.
Cameroon, 12%.
Wow.
China, 12.5%.
Wow.
Colombia, our neighbor, 20 to 25% royalties.
Wow.
Congo, 14.5 to 19% royalty.
Yes.
Equatorial Guinea, 10%.
Yes.
France, 12%.
Yes.
Gabon, 20%.
Yes.
Man. Ghana, 12.5%. Korea, 15%. Malaysia, 12.5%. Morocco, 12.5 to 14% royalty. Nigeria, 12.5 to 20% royalty. Pakistan, 12%. Peru, 11 to 20%. Thailand, 12.5%. Tunisia, 10 to 15%. Uganda, 12.5%. Australia, 12.5%. Ecuador, 12.5 to 18% royalty. India, 12.5%. Kuwait, 12.5%. Romania, 13.5%. Libya, 16.5%. The USA, 16.6%.
Wow.
You want me to call more, Uncle?
Yes. Yes.
Huh?
Call more.
Is what Guyana get.
Hmm.
Kazakhstan receives 16% royalty. What Guyana receive, Auntie? Less than 2%.
No. Shameful.
All those countries, Auntie, all of them, we get 2%.
Wow.
All them country, Tony, receive their full share of taxes.
Yes. Yes.
What Guyana get, Uncle?
2%.
ExxonMobil walk away and left Guyana for pay their taxes
Wow.
with that 2%.
Unbelievable.
So what you get, Uncle? You know what you get? You know what all we got forget? What the leaders want us to hold? Wood. Brazil, we neighbor, is getting 56% out of the deal. Venezuela 72, Colombia 71, Suriname getting 62%. What is Guyana total take? 11.5% total take. And I didn't bring in the take on the other countries. I only announced royalties.
Yes.
I didn't announce taxes and profit sharing.
Yes.
But Guyana, everything total 11.5%.
Shameful.
Hmm?
Shameful.
This is not shameful. This is criminal what is happening to.
Criminalization.
Huh?
Criminalization.
Yes. This is not discrimination to body. This is not racism. This is not even injustice. What is going on in this land? Wow. All because we are brown, black and yellow people in this country.
Yes. Yes.
This is when this can change, man.
Change is coming.
How this can change?
A change is coming.
This can only change, Uncle. This can only change with a brown, black, and yellow lives matter slogan.
Yes.
Unless we get that slogan.
Yes.
No. Uncle, every jack man, woman, and children got to get on board,
Yes.
including the business
Yes.
and corporate world.
That's right. Yes.
Yes, to bring about a change.
Yes.
If we leave it to our leaders of this land, if you leave it to President Ali,
Yes.
Vice President Jack Day and your opposition leader Joseph Harmon.
Yes.
You, your grandchildren, and future generations will be left with begging bowls in your hands.
Yes.
And I don't intend to leave. I want you guys to know, I don't intend to leave this world where my grandchildren will have to go through rubbish bins to put something in their stomach or hold begging bowls. No, no, no. You can hear me loud and clear.
Yes.
And if you're looking at my face, it's coming with a smile, not a beautiful smile. One you can see the expression on my face. It will not happen to my grandchildren. Let me ask this question, Auntie. Would ExxonMobil have done this to a country with white inhabitants?
No way.
No, 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 no. No.
No.
Mm-mm. They would have done that to Norway. They would have done that to no, 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 no.
No.
They would have been forced overnight
Yes.
by the people
Yes.
to change it.
Right.
They would have handed those countries bills. You think they could have handed those countries bills in the billions of American dollars that comes with no explanation as to what these charges are?
Yes.
You think they can do that to a white country?
No. Can't do it.
Yes. But they're doing that here.
Can't do it.
They're doing that to us right now.
It has to be black and brown.
Any one of them countries would have accepted ExxonMobil and signed a contract without full cover insurance to protect their people and their country, uncle.
No way. They could not have done it with some of our former leaders. No way.
I am pretty much certain Barnum and Chetty Jagan is turning in their graves
Yeah. So
as to what these morons
So true.
is doing to these
So
people of
true.
this country.
It's true.
Thank you. That policeman, uncle, that put his knees on George Floyd's neck for 9 minutes that killed him, ExxonMobil knees is on every Guyanese neck 3 years now. Some of y'all can't even breathe. Some of our brothers begging on social media for help to bury their dead loved ones as if we are slaves, as if we are hungry belly, low life people. And this country pumping oil 3 years now. And yet our leaders can't see discrimination, racism, and injustice to our livelihoods. They can't see that. American companies experience a slowdown of their profits during that protest against discrimination and racism. America's Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies caved in and started calling for the improvement in the laws, for justice in the streets and in the courts, and for equal treatment of minorities, especially the blacks. Uncle, this is where Guyana has to be. This is exactly where Guyana has to be. Those Fortune 500 companies, some of them are already there in Guyana. And this is where Guyana has to be. Where Guyanese leaders, the media, businesses, churches, civil society, and the ordinary people, all colored have to be. We must be there. And we must call on those Fortune 500 companies to back us, to make sure that we get our rightful share. Stop the racist conduct. Renegotiate or get out. Leave the oil alone.
Yeah.
And if leaders betray us, uncle, then we remove them from office.
Yeah.
We give them the boot. It has to change, uncle. Every minute that passes by, it sickens my soul. I am taking some stories tomorrow. I would have to probably explain that to you guys Friday. It is too much for me to put together on a program to share it with you guys. It is too much of advantage, injustice facing you people as Guyanese, uncle. Today, uncle, ExxonMobil put out an advertisement on public consultation again on the fourth project, the Yellowtail. I told you guys about the Yellowtail. That's the grandfather of all evil. They did the same for Liza 3. They didn't do it for 1 and 2. They rushed through 1 and 2 and hold a consultation on Payara, on the on environmental issues. Uncle, it is required by law that they hold these public consultations on every project. But the thing with this is everything John Public says or recommends, nothing, absolutely nothing is accepted. They just disregard everything we say. You know why? Because we are brown, black, and yellow people. We have no say. And by the way, just in case I forget, these public consultations, I told you, is part of the law. And once that is done, you can't sue them for what they do, because they said they had a public consultation and the Guyanese people were present and they contributed. But like I said, everything we recommend, absolutely nothing they accepted, because we are brown, black, and yellow people. It's like they're telling you to get the hell out of here. Your voices, your concerns doesn't matter. And your lives doesn't matter too. That's how they're treating us. They never have an honest or straightforward answer to give you. I went there and asked them a few questions, and none has been taken into considerations. Many other people sent their questions and concerns to them via email, and it meant nothing to them. This is how they see us, as a set of retarded, low-grade, low-life people living in Guyana. And you know why this is happening to us, uncle? Because of the silence by our government and our opposition. Yes. Because of our silence, government silence and opposition silence. Check in the papers. You will see the advertisement where they will be holding the consultation. Yumanayana, Blackbush Pola, West Coast, Essequibo, and 2 other places more. This is COVID. And they're holding a public consultation on such a mega project that can affect our lives in just a couple villages in this COVID. You're going to hear a lot more about this. I don't think, Uncle, anyone here should turn up. You know why? It's a done deal with the EPA, your government and your opposition. This is how they are treating you, the citizens of this country, with your wealth. Not theirs, your wealth. Me and your wealth. We have no say. You will take what them do. You will take what they do you, and you're going to take what they give you. This is Guyana. This is the Guyana all of us were born in. Our lives don't matter. We don't have mouths. We don't have children. And we don't have grandchildren. Only those, the exam people them have. Only them got children and grandchildren too. I received a message from an environmentalist, a Guyanese, who live in the United States this morning. As a matter of fact, the phone woke me up. She has been very vocal from the beginning on what ExxonMobil and these oil people doing to Guyana and the Guyanese people. The woman said that ExxonMobil has changed its game on this EPA consultation. I was like, what? She said, they are now holding face-to-face meetings on this fourth project.
Yeah, their game's clear.
The fourth project. And the reason, she said, the reason they're doing that is to cut out people like she and other environmental professionals who are Guyanese working international. They're cutting them out from participating in Zoom, via Zoom and Facebook or WhatsApp. You hear that? They cut out that. So those people who are well versed, who are qualified to speak on environmental matters, they chop them off the radar. They only want to talk to me and you. The brown, black, and yellow people want to know much about what they plan to do or what they will do. Wow. When they were asked questions, they never get answers. So now they don't want those people. They want face-to-face meetings. Where people like me and you have no skills to take them on. The girl said, it's an attempt to censor and ensure that the overseas-based Guyanese are excluded from participation. Oh my God, she woke my brain up this morning. Wow. Uncle and auntie, fellow citizens of this country, if this is not racist behavior, if this is not discriminatory attitude, and if this is not an injustice to us as a people, then I don't know what is. Uncle, if this is not viewed as rape, robbery, and murder to Guyana, then I don't know what it is. I just don't know, man. Yes, they want face-to-face discussion with we Guyanese who don't understand much on this subject matter, the oil. And this is what our president and more so Vice President Jagdeo and the opposition leader Harmon, them allowing. You would not hear a single word or a statement coming out from both of them, the government and the opposition, as to this. Mark my words on it. I hope y'all notice every single thing these people doing is in a conniving and deceitful way. Basically, Uncle, Exxon and the leaders telling all of us to go suck salts or something else. That's the respect. That's how much they love and care for you, the Guyanese people. Hear more. Don't drink water yet or your pressure tablet yet. Just hold on 2 more minutes and I'm done. Just hear more of what ExxonMobil is doing to us. They are allowed to take out 75% cost recovery. This may sound a little confused and high-tech for you people. Please listen carefully. ExxonMobil is allowed to take out 75% in cost recovery from of our oil. Not the full 100%, only 75%. If they take out the full 100%, Uncle and Auntie, Guyana got nothing to get, because the operational costs, the loan repayments, and the other spendings will override the oil they pump up every year. I only hope you understand. If you don't understand, please call me back. I'll try to break it, simplify it, or get it down for you to understand. This is the reason, Uncle, them only taking out 75% so that Guyana can get a certain, you know what I mean? After they done sell the oil, take out 75%, the 25% is then split in two. Guyana get 12.5 and Exxon get the other 12.5. This is not a trick. This is a very, very dangerous, thieving, and one-sided agreement we sign on to. Uncle, this type of arrangement left countries owing billions to oil companies after the people oil is finished. Here is an example. And please listen carefully. This thing is dangerous. When I keep emphasizing it's dangerous, it's wicked, it's evil, it's nasty. And it's extremely dangerous. Listen carefully to the deal that we sign on to. Jagdeo picked 100 baskets of mangoes. When he sells the mango, he gets $100. Listen to me carefully, $100. He tell you how he going to take out 75%, which is $75 out of the 100. He take out as part of the cost for his truck and his ladder and to pick the mangoes. And the 25% were left back from the 100 is what you and he gonna bust in half.
Wow.
You hear me?
Yeah.
He get $12.5 and me get $12.5. The 25% or the $25 uncle, the remaining cost to Jagdeo, because remember you only take 75, will go over the next day, which will add to tomorrow picking. You get me?
Yeah.
That $25 gonna go to the other day picking.
Yeah.
Yes. When Jack Dale done with you, the cars he keep throwing over every day will be 50 times the $12.50 you get in every day.
Wow.
Uncle and auntie, check that to 30, 40, 50 years when the oil done, and you will see. That's how countries end up owing billions of dollars to the oil companies. And it's more tricky, but I will just leave you with a little piece for now. It's 50 times more trickier than that what I told you there. But I'll leave the rest. Piece by piece, I got to give you them. Guyana, brothers and sisters, this country should have never been in debt with the resources we have.
True.
Our gold, our diamond, bauxite, manganese,
So true.
ore should have already have all of you living a great life with triple salaries behind your names. And this oil find should have been the icing on the cake for us to live a king's and queen's life. Instead, we have donkey carts and horse carts roaming the streets of our city day and night. That's the economy we have. This will continue in GT for the remainder of our lives unless we stand up and do something. Or you know what, Uncle? I wonder if this is the fairy tale city President Ali talking about. I know in London, you have a lot of well-bred horses with their tails brushed and their coats shining and ribbons in their tails. Yes. That's how they do it in London. Yeah, I'll better tell them horse-scared people that a lot of white people are going to be coming here from England too. And they will want that kind of fairy tale story told to the British Queen. Guyana is back under the Queen. I love this country called Guyana. Uncle, auntie, the PPP sign, 1% and the coalition was proud to shout them at them and say, we move it to 2%. Oh my gosh. PPP said, sign 1% and the coalition was proud to shout out, they move it to 2%. With a humongous achievement. Hear that? Man, Uncle, I really gotta laugh. If ExxonMobil take the whole 100% in recovery costs, then all of we would hold wood. Uncle, it's shame they're taking out the behind to give us that little crumbs. If not, you would have had nothing, absolutely nothing to get from this contract sign. A matter of fact, more than half of that 75% they're taking out is we profit. Yes, is we profit. Because that money is not inflated, but inflated. Let Jagdeo, President Ali, and Harmon prove me wrong on that. Show us the books. Let's get it. Bring out the production report. Bring out the spending reports. And I will prove it to all Guyana. Mr. Jagdeo, our Vice President, went to Ghana and tell them that by 2025, we will be producing 800,000 barrels of oil per day. And by 2027, it can possibly be 1.2, 1.4 million barrels. He said more than Venezuela.
Who to benefit from?
And this is all, he said, and this is all in the context of a population of about 800,000 people. So you can imagine how overwhelming it is and how careful we have to be about planning that future for the development of the industry. Those are his words. He told them, the Ghanaian people, through a radio station, 99.5 FM. I had to laugh. A Ghanaian radio station, 99.5 FM. He went and spoke those words. He got there to learn the experiences so that he can put policies and institutions in place for the proper management and regulations of the sector. That's what he said. So that the 800,000 Guyanese can benefit from their oil wealth. And at the same time, he will bring some technicians and consultants to help us out. He said all that on the 99.5 FM radio station in Ghana, uncle, not 99.5 FM Kaieteur radio. The guru went to them radio station, but he doesn't find time to come on the Kaieteur radio station to talk to the Guyanese people about them own wealth. I can only smile. I don't know about you. I can only smile or laugh at these people. Going on till in Ghana for tell the Ghanaian people about the Guyanese people, what he planned for them. The radio announcer asked him a very simple question. Mr. Jagdeo, what are you doing to ensure that what happened to Ghana does not happen to Guyana? That was such a beautiful question.
Yeah.
Man, I believe like I sent him the question to the girl. And he said, we have to be very cautious. We have a ton of minerals and land for agriculture. We have seen historically a decline in our fortunes, largely because of bad policies. My God. He said in the past, a significant number of Guyanese, almost half of them, fled the country during that period due to 3 decades of undemocratic rule. So they fled from a lack of freedom and bad policies, and so on. He said Guyana got lots of resources. You can still be poor if you don't have a free country and you do not manage it well. The government practices bad policies. You guys see? You guys see what I'm saying? He got till to Ghana to tell the people them there that 30 years the PNC make Guyanese people run out of this country and nothing about he 30 years. Mr. Vice President, if you ask 95% of the Guyanese population all of them want a visa to go to Europe or North America to live. Because you and the rest of the leaders in this land have been worsening the conditions in this country each day that goes by with the scampish, crookish, and one-sided, lopsided deals y'all making with these foreigners. This is why the people got to live like this, Mr. Jagdeo. All of y'all too greedy and selfish. All you guys care about is y'all self, y'all friends and families. You should have told the Ghanaian radio station that 30 years you blame PNC. 20, how much years you went in there? And you gone back there. And the nation, the world, international all experts is begging Guyana, you and Harmon them, to change this contract. The contract has a clause in which it can change. But you, instead Exxon talk about sanctity of contract, you talking about sanctity of contract. He's signed in stone, or it's set in stone. I don't know which stone it's signing. Uncle, the question the radio announcer asked Mr. Jagdeo, the girl said, what are you doing to ensure that what happened to Ghana does not happen to Guyana? And he talking about 30 years of PNC rule. What a beautiful country this is, with beautiful leaders. Then he went on to say, when the PPP took office in 1992, them had to rebuild a democratic institution and move Guyana from a 300 GDP to a 6,000 GDP. And they reduced the debt. Anybody life changed since then? If anybody life changed, can somebody call me and let me know? Half of the population starving, and the debt was reduced by a begging bowl the PPP leaders use to walk around with all over the world. That made the Jamaican Prime Minister said he's ashamed. He's ashamed of a CARICOM leader walking around with a begging bowl all over the world.
So sad.
Wow.
Very sad.
Uncle, he went on to tell the radio station, he went on to talk about the usual rhetoric. We got to use the money for education, healthcare, infrastructure, agriculture, and he talked about how many hotels we will need. And answer the woman question. And until now, he didn't answer the woman question. How much hotels we gonna need? Like if any Guyanese own any hotel. He talk about infrastructure, health, and education. He should tell the Ghanaian people how much money they spend for build a school or a health center. How much they spend on agriculture. And how much they spend for fix a little PC wall with copper brick. You should tell them how much 100 billion they spend there. Wow. Wow. What he was doing to ensure, he should have tell them, uncle, what he's doing to ensure what Guyana, what happened to Ghana does not happen to Guyana. That is what he should have been telling, and that's the question. You know, I wanted earlier to play the tape, but like I'm so ashamed to play him that I think I'm not going to play him anymore. I don't want to play the tape for you guys. But those were the answers he gave to the radio announcer in fancy languages. He said we have to be careful about a boom and then a bust. A boom and then a bust. There will be no boom. Only bust. Only bust Guyana will face. And we are already facing the bust right now. The Guyanese people will face sand trucks next, not bus. Here this one, and I'm done. I'm going home now. Today, we reported in the Kaieteur news how the Kaieteur oil block, you remember the one? The one giveaway and Robert said, you don't know who he give it to? Well, the Kaieteur oil block was supposed to give up 45% of the oil block 8 months ago. You don't hear me, man, Josh? You hear me?
I did 8 months ago.
8 months ago, yes. Have you heard a word, Josh?
No.
From Mr. Jagdeo? From Mr. Ali? Or Mr. Harman? Anybody hear a word?
No.
A matter of fact, it looked like you ain't going to get nothing. Them ain't interested in getting back that 45%. Uncle, that is what we should have told. That is what he should have told the Ghanaian people. He should have told them that the contract, what them sign on to, he is not abiding by the same rules set out in the contract to benefit the people of this country. 45% of that oil block, uncle. You want to hear the size of it? Put together, Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago, the 45% is bigger than them 3 countries. You know, taking back that now and put it in the open market, like I always say, you know how much money can come in this country? But the leaders of this land is not interested in that. My reporter read the contract and spot that. That's how she reported on it today. The same reporter that Jagdeo and Vikram Bharat wants to take away. She's the last one we have at Kaieteur News. That took away 6 of them already. They're not interested in that. Bringing back the oil block to Guyana. They got their own reason why they're not taking back the oil block. Maybe they should tell us. Maybe they should tell us who own it and who benefiting from it. That is something Jagdeo had promised in his first press conference, that all the beneficial owners of these oil blocks will be investigated and the Guyanese people will know about it. What happened now, Mr. Jagdeo? We not only ain't hearing who own these oil blocks, who are the beneficial owners of these oil blocks, but we are not even hearing you talking about taking back the 45% that you should have taken back 8 months ago. Why? I wonder why you're not going after this 45% in the Kaieteur oil block. What interest you have, Mr. Jagdeo, personally in there? May I ask? Tell the nation. And Guyana, are you please read through the lines? Or read between the lines. These people get your oil blocks free. with terms and conditions set out in the contract arrangement, in which after 2 years they were supposed to give back 25%, and the following 2 years 20%, which is the 45% in total. 8 months gone. 8 months they were supposed to relinquish 45% in the Kaieteur oil block alone I'm talking about. That 45% should have been back in our hands 8 months ago. It's still left with the beneficial owners until now. I wonder why. These are the kind of questions you guys have to ask these leaders. All of them, all the 65 MPs, when you see them, you have to ask them why they're not taking it back. You see why I keep telling y'all? This country has to have a revolution. Every man, woman, and child should step out into the streets and demand that the leaders of this land act and behave in a decent, honest, and fair manner, so that y'all children can really put biscuits in their lunch kits. So that y'all, the public servants, the police, the soldier, the nurses, the cleaners, everybody can get 4 or 5 times the salary they're taking home today. If you guys don't decide to wake up this land, if you guys don't decide to upturn this country, you guys will continue to live the life you're living. I am dead serious on that, and no one can prove me wrong. 1 and 2 people keep asking me, Lall, is it true every household will get $1 million every year? Let me say this. That $1 million came about from the coalition government with a Professor Clive Thomas. He did his homework and his maths based on the lopsided, one-sided contract that the coalition signed and came up with that figure. But let me say this, brothers and sisters. When we get the contract change, every week you can get $1 million in your house. Yeah, not year-end. Not year-end, you know, man. With 12%, do the maths. With 12% royalty, you do the maths. It's $500,000 every household. At the profit sharing, if managed properly, you can get more than $1 million per week. A week, not year or month. Man, do the maths yourself. Or get a maths teacher to help you. I wanted a maths teacher to help me out, or a mathematician to help. I wanted them to help me put together the maths, but it was so simple, I really didn't need them. Maybe I need them now to prove me wrong on what I said. I want Mr. Jagdeo, Mr. Ashley Singh, Winston Brasington, and Winston Brasington. Winston Jordan, and Winston Brasington. No, sorry, not Brasington. He doesn't have a financial certificate behind his name. The 3 of them got financing and accounting certificate. I want all of them to explain how Guyana is gaining from this 75% cost recovery. I have so many other things here, but I don't want to go on further. It's getting at my time. They're whispering to me, I have to take some calls. But I just want to end by telling you people, the permanent secretary that has got caught red-handed taking bribe I have been trying to get a story for the last week. And all we are hearing, the file is with the DPP's office. I don't know what is going on. But I do know, if was an ordinary man get caught red-handed, he would have been remanded by now. Thank you for listening. God bless you and have a great evening. Josh,
You're
too many
listening to
things. I
us
can't say all
on
these
Kaieteur
things.
Radio 99.1 and
It's too much.
99.5 FM. It is the radio with a difference. I have a question here from someone. It says here, Mr. Lall, good night. How come when you publish a letter, you have to go to court? And the government selling out Guyana, and there's not a simple investigation taking place. Is this really justice?
Here. That's a tough question. I really can't answer that question. That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
It is. 226.
That's a tough one. Some of these questions I can't answer, Josh.
I know.
The law is only for certain people in this land. Good evening, sir.
Hello, Mr. Some of these questions I can't answer, Josh. I know. Hello, Mr. Glenn.
Yes, good evening. You're live on air.
Good. Hello, Mr. Some of these questions I can't answer, Josh. I know. Hello, Mr. Glenn. Yes, good evening. You're live on air. Good. Yes, sir.
Can you lower the volume? of his-
Can you lower your volume on your radio?
Yeah. Okay, so what I want to say is about the public meetings that Exxon are supposed to do. Are you hearing me?
Yes, loud and clear. Go ahead. Make your contribution.
Okay, so they have announced in the newspapers some meetings, one in Region 4, one in Region 6, two in Region 1, two in Region 5, one in Region 3, but none in Region 7, 8, 9, and 10. So 4 regions were left out,
They're not Guyanese.
and that's not a good thing. The Article 23 of the Constitution says that every citizen has a duty to participate in activities designed to improve the environment and protect the health of the nation. And the EPA Act, Chapter 20, says the public has a legal right to say what questions and matters they wish to have answered or addressed in the environmental impact assessment. And right now, Guyana is undergoing the EITI review, and the whole EITI review is based on stakeholder participation. So what Exxon should have done is have not only face-to-face, but also Zoom meetings. So at least 1 or 2 Zoom meetings so that people can participate. But you said it rightly earlier. When we had the Zoom meetings, in one meeting we had 60 people, and in one meeting we had 80 people. And you had a lot of people in the diaspora who were doctorates and scientists and experts who were asking a lot of hard questions, and they were giving the answers. So maybe this is deliberate to not have these diaspora people give critiques of what they're doing and asking hard questions. But to not do Zoom as well as face-to-face, doing that hybrid model, I think is an injustice to the Guyanese people. And in my view, the bigger the project, Yellowtail is going to produce 250,000 barrels per day.
Correct.
The bigger the project, the bigger would be the impact on the country and the environment. And that's when you need more consultation, not less.
Can you hold 1 second? Can you hold?
Yes.
This is what I spoke about earlier. This is not advantage. This is not racism. This is not discrimination. Can you help me find a word to describe what they're doing here? Now they are leaving out a big chunk of Guyana by not having them participate in this consultation on this mega project. This one is the grandfather of all evil.
Yeah.
Right? This one, they will be dumping 270,000 barrels of produced water per day. This one, I want to touch on it a little more on Friday. Man, it's a lot more. But this is the impasse. This is the impasse what our government and our opposition is allowing these people to come in your country and do to our people.
Yeah.
This face to face, this is the age of COVID. COVID people have to sit 6 feet apart. This is how you hold consultation with a nation. You're holding one consultation in Georgetown that can barely take 30 people. And you're holding it at small places with 5 and 10 people. And the people who wants to contribute or participate via Zoom, Facebook, or WhatsApp, you're shutting that out? Doesn't that tell a story?
Yeah. That's what it is.
And and you're not hearing a word from our leaders.
Yep.
This is the impasse.
Yep.
And we, like I said it Monday night, that not even a fly or a cockroach that belonged to Guyana should allow this project to go on. A matter of fact, I've done pledge, if the Guyanese people allow this project, Jagdeo to approve this project, man, I go on silent. I would not be hosting anymore. Guyana will have to take, all Guyanese will have to take what they get. Thank you. You have any other contribution?
So that's it. And thank you for all you do on your program.
You're welcome. Thanks. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. You hear it for yourself?
Yes.
You guys hear it for yourself?
Caller, good evening and welcome to the Glenn Lall Show.
Hello, good night.
Good night, sir.
Hello?
Good night. Go ahead.
Hi, hello. Hello, good night.
Good night, sir.
Yes, Mr. Glenlal,
Go ahead. Let's get going.
thank you for the job you're doing, man. You know, when I think about the political parties in this country, it just reminds me of a story that a friend took me down to Esquibo Coast, and there was an ugly man competition, right? And when they awarded the winner of that competition, there was a big fight that who was uglier than who.
Mm-hmm.
The point I'm making is that both two of these political parties ugly, and they are pretending to be nice.
Yeah.
You know, when Mr. Jagdeo was in Texas, he was saying, like just that he did in Ghana, that how when they took over this country with a large debt, and every $100 this country made, they had to pay $90-something to service debt and loan. Now, what he is telling the Guyanese people in the world, he thinks people is that stupid. Most of those debts was being write off.
Exactly.
The truth of the matter is that PNC did take loans, and let us face the reality. That they may be corrupted some of those money, and the rest are spent on projects. But when PPP took over this country, they get free projects like the Harbor Bridge and other projects which they didn't have to pay for. They only have to service it, maintain it, and make money, but still telling the Guyanese people that they have to service all these loans. I know PNC left this country. The whole thing is about this blame game.
Yep.
They can't do nothing better than that, right?
They knows nothing better.
They should tell the Guyanese people in the world that all their boasting, it's a shame. It's a shame that the PPP and the PNC can only say who is better than who.
I hear you, bro.
Why they don't compare themselves with the Caribbean country or any other party in the world. They are comparing themselves with the PPP and PNC. These two political parties were to be compared with. Anybody can do better than them.
Exactly.
If you put a dog, it will do better than PPP and PNC.
I believe you, bro.
Yes? If you put a dog, a 4-foot dog. So I don't know who they are boasting on. And when you think about Guyana, they should tell the world that in this hemisphere, we are only better off than Haiti for AIDS and poverty, because we fall under the highly indebted poor country. You see? So I don't know what they are telling these people, but the bottom line of the politics in this country is that they use race and this hate race to nasty people's minds so that they can continue vote the pattern of voting for vote race. That is the thing.
I hear you,
Right?
brother.
And they're continuing doing this thing and poisoning the minds of people.
I hear
Right?
you, brother.
And unless the Guyanese people look at this, I always say, this race, this country has no good. My brother Glenn Lall is doing an excellent job. I wish to meet that man personally. I'm telling you that he is one of the Guyanese. I want to know where are the other political leaders that was fighting the election. They only want on president. Now is the time they should come out and speak out. And they say that how they are a party included all the other party. How you do that when you left out the major party you said is the PNC? The PNC said the same thing, that they are a 9 or 6 party and left out the PVP. So these two people, they're divide and rule the people, and they are doing an excellent job, I can tell you. By doing that, they are doing an excellent job. But I tell you something. A friend tell me that if there is a place named Hell, if it is true that there is a place geographically named Hell, you don't worry. That place will only be occupied by politicians. Yes. Because I never in the history, I tell you, hear man talk like these people. I don't know if the people is not ashamed how they must sleep in the night.
I
You
believe
understand?
that you're so correct.
Because if some people do one wrong or one act, your conscience will beat you. You can't sleep, you can't eat if you know. I don't know how they might take this money and buy food for themselves and their family. If they're not ashamed, people like these, they should have got commit suicide. They should have got die in dignity, hang themselves or drink on those poison. That used to be happen in Japan. Look at other countries in the world that we are living in today. The whole world is moving. Look at Singapore 56 years ago. Guyana can't compare yourself in nowhere. You go to Suriname, you go to any one of the Caribbean countries with nothing almost. Look the value of their money and the way of life. But I don't know, man. Something is wrong and really wrong in this country. And I tell you this, we can blame Exxon to be scampish and wicked and...
Hold on the line.
So,
Hold
yes.
on the line. Hold on the line.
Yes.
Look where Jagdeo went for seek advice and experience. Ghana.
I can't believe this thing. I can't believe this thing.
Wait. Ghana, who messed up their own countries, he got there to learn and to gain experience. He didn't choose places like Norway.
I know.
You know?
I know.
Look where President Ali gone. He gone to Dubai.
Dubai, yes.
And he gone to Dubai instead to learn, to gain some experience. He gone to tell them to come invest here.
I know. That like a man, woman there with your wife, and you turn back and ask the man how for run on house.
Yeah.
How. But I tell you something. Mr. Glenal, I grew up looking at the cinema, right? And I think Guyana got more resources than you think. In the Indian movie, right? There's a lot of scam, Prem Chopra, Madam Puri, and Prana, all this guy,
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
And we have to pay to see those guys on the TV, in the cinema, But in Guyana, I think we can open one film industry here. We have some of the perfect scamp, I tell you, better than any other scamp in the world. when you talk about Prince Chopra and Amrish Puri and all this camp, man, we have them here live. You don't have to pay to see them.
Take the
You see
gentleman
them for
number.
free. You know? You just see them for free. And a friend was telling me, he said, man, you know what happened? Even the bandits, they have some kind of respect for you. Because when they rob you with a mask, because it might be your neighbor or somebody in the village. But these politicians, they're more shameless and worthless because they rob this nation without a mask.
Yeah.
You know? Without a mask, they don't want a mask. You know?
Thank you. Thank you.
And you know, I don't know what around. You know, I went to places of worship and see them got Jagdeo photograph. Yes, and I asked, who is this picture about? Become a little au fait with the other paintings. They say, well, this is the president, and every time they just put president photographs in the temple, Mr. I will put Bornama height. What kind of nonsense is this? Before they put them modern farming or put them like a Jagdeo, I tell you something. But what saying this, I am wanting to know the one who profess to be religious in this country. Like one friend in both party have in the PPP, you got one Ajil, you got Vindi Pasar. I am wanting to know their leaders in the spiritual life, how them are feeling, why they can't come out and say this thing is against the scripture, against the word of God.
Yes.
Right?
See,
Because they are ambassador for heaven.
I
right?
understand. I understand you
Them
clearly,
can't speak
bro.
out. If the rest of them are devil, at least them got a little more conscience. Why they not speak out? They're frightened they're going to lose their job?
Right.
But my brother, Lall, I tell you, God will bless you. Me tell you, you're doing a great job, my brother. Me tell you. I
Thank
have
you.
to meet you personally, man. Me tell you.
Thank you.
I don't know which school you've been, which university, but let me tell you something. This is God's work. You is inspired by God, man. God
Say it
bless you
again,
for
man.
this
Say
work.
it again.
If it's not been for you, I don't know what will happen to the guy and his people. Believe him, I tell you. Right? I don't know, because nobody knows what is happening in his Isle business and what is happening in Guyana, because these people are fool, they not throw dots in MI. Right? But when people like you come on board, you open the eyes of people. I hope people listen to this program and they can make changes. And you know, every life in Guyana has a value. And every 5 years we can do something so remarkable that will cause any change. You know? But, you know, when you listen to politicians in this country, they Jagan say when you go in with the won't take all, right? And they go and they won't have no witch hunting. They're not put on them a jail. When PP gone in, he say go put all them a jail. When the FC gone in, and after he say go put all them on a jail, all who thief, right? When them is gone in, now they go put them a jail. Well, I don't know who put who a jail, but me think that Luziknan prison will make. You should have really make for them, you know. Yes, that was really they should make the place for, you know.
We got to make something better for them. Not that.
I tell you, I don't know. These
Thank
people,
you.
I don't know. Brother, you take all the best. Keep up the works, man.
Thank you.
Keep up
Thank you. Have a good night. Have a good night. Well said. The gentleman put together it very nice.
Yeah.
He said a mouthful.
Yeah.
He said a mouthful.
Yeah.
Joshua,
Yes, sir.
we coming to a close.
Yes, we have.
All right. You want to say anything?
Yeah, Mr. Glenn, first of all, I want to thank you and your panel for being on your program tonight. It's a very hurtful situation. And if you can recall, when I stepped into your office and we had a conversation tonight, is the very topic that we were talking about this guy, last guy bring up.
Exactly.
Doesn't our leaders have a heart?
How?
Doesn't ExxonMobil have a heart? Well, I know they don't have a heart, you know. Each of these guys are carrying a book, Bhagavad Gita, a holy Bhagavad Gita, a holy Bible, the Holy Quran. What is the righteousness? You know, what is the righteousness? What they're doing to these nations? What they're allowing these foreigners to come to do to these nations? And I want to congratulate you, Mr. Glenn Lall, very personally. And as I said to you, I know that the divine is backing you. And you will continue to speak. Speak it. He's speaking it through you.
Thank
And
you.
that our leaders should be wake up. Because it's going to get serious. Because the messenger is going to come to this land. A messenger will come to this land. And I'm sending this message also to our foreign leaders that are here oppressing this land.
Hold, please.
For these are the days of Elijah. I want them to listen very carefully to me. These are the days of the Elijahs. Many of our politicians know what I'm saying. These are the days of the Elijah. But they doesn't understand the principle of Elijah and what they're doing to the poor class of people in this nation and all around the nation. So, Mr. Glenn, I want to congratulate you very much. I want to thank your panel.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hello? You're live. This is the last call.
Hi, good. Yeah. Yeah, good night, gentlemen. Good night,
Yes.
Glenn. Good night, panel.
Good night.
Glenn, you haven't mentioned Suriname have signed a production sharing contract with Chevron, Chevron of the United States of America, the second largest oil company in the world, in
Yes.
America.
Yeah.
And they got a signing bonus of $30.88 million for a small block of Block 5, which is 235 square kilometers. In the PSC, in the production sharing contract they signed, the Suriname Oil Company start solely is entitled to 40%, a 40% share in the block. 40% share. That 235 square kilometer with a $30.88 million signing bonus. Guyana got the 50% from the Kaieteur block would be 13,000 square kilometers. We would have we could make 22-35 square blocks. We could make 6 of the 22-35 square kilometer blocks that Suriname got $30.88 million for, and we could have more than $185 million.
Exactly.
6 blocks at that site.
Yeah, 6 3 is 18, that's 180, yeah. Yeah.
Right. We would get $185 million signing bonus just to collect back the 45%.
That's the money we are going to borrow to build a new Demerara Harbor Bridge. We can get that with a twinkle of a finger. But this is what the country needs to understand, because the leaders of this land is playing games and they're hiding. A matter of fact, like I said earlier, they have sold out this country with all of us.
Yes, they
I
have.
am so happy. I'm so happy that you raised this issue. I'm going to touch back on it Friday, and I'm going to work it out.
Chevron just signed an agreement with Suriname. They just signed it a week or so ago.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
But Chevron is just a block 5, just a small block. A small block of 22 or 25 square kilometers right offshore Suriname. But the Suriname Oil Company has 40% share in that that oil block.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
40%. So in effect, Suriname get 40% plus 36% tax and 6.25% again. Suriname would have close to 82% share in that block.
Wow.
It's a new block. They just signed a new PSA. That is a model PSA. Not what our Jagger was planning was. That is a model PSA.
No. We vice president said we are working on a new model PSA. We are working on it still. Suriname pump a drop a produce water yet, and done got a PSA, and we pump in oil. We find oil since 2015, and Jagdale still say them working on a new model PSA. Gosh, thank you, sir.
Suriname gets 40%.
Thank you. We can chat.
Quickly.
Go ahead. Wow, you hear that?
Yeah.
Guyana could never be the next Dubai if you accept 2%. Dubai does not accept 2% and 11% for the oil. Dubai gets almost most of the oil. Dubai will get 80-something percent of the oil. So how in the hell can Guyana become a little Dubai where we get the 2% and 11%? How in the world can we become that?
Man,
these people are mad people.
No, they're not mad people. They're deceivers. They're unrighteous.
Yeah.
They're lies.
Yeah.
They do not tell truth.
Yeah. Correct.
Right. The leaders in Dubai, they are good Muslim people. They care for their people. Our leaders don't care for people. They care for ExxonMobil profits more than the Guyanese people. Because to them, ExxonMobil profits is more of an interest than the Guyanese people's livelihood. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night. Thanks. Well, on that note, Josh, The gentleman says that Suriname just signed a new contract on another block. They signed one on block 58 and they're friend. Good night. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Lall.
Yes, good night. You're live on the air.
Yeah, I would like to say that no permit should be granted until the contract is renewed,
Exactly, I agree with that.
or else we will continue to get nothing. More bills and no benefits.
Exactly, precisely. Thank you. Thank you. I agree with
Thank
you.
you.
I agree with you fully.
Okay.
And thanks for listening. Oh, it's getting late. I gotta go. Guys, thank you. Thank you. God bless. Have a great evening.